So I'm looking at Benjamin Cowan's website Into the Cryptoverse, and in this website he has a tool, a free tool, which is really important, that shows you your dollar cost average strategy. If you click on this tool, it shows you basically if you dollar cost average a certain amount, you can calculate from, let's say, a certain date to a later date, if you accumulated a certain amount over a certain period of time, how much you would have made. And I want to show you really quick based on how much you would have made. Basically, if you did that with Bitcoin, we'll look at Ethereum, we'll look at a couple others, and we'll compare them to Bitcoin. So you can compare different assets to Bitcoin. So we're going to start with Ethereum and Bitcoin and then go from there. So I'm going to say, let's say a conservative dollar cost average. Let's just say we do $20 a week. That sounds pretty doable. People spend that on like Starbucks probably. So let's say you just cut out your Starbucks and you started spending $20 a week on Bitcoin every week. And we'll do starting date from 2021 till today. Okay, let's say we've been doing this for 5 years. Okay, so you would have invested with Bitcoin a total of $5,700. You would have amassed 0.136 Bitcoin with an average cost of 41,000, almost $42,000, and your current value, your current portfolio would be worth $9,022. But this is now at the lows. If you go back to where the highs were, which was in October of last year when everything was surging, you would have had $15,800 in Bitcoin. Okay? Big difference. 15,000. It has dropped quite a bit since then. Now, if you did the same with Ethereum, funny enough, I thought Ethereum would have done a lot better, but it has not. It actually has not. Bitcoin has outperformed Ethereum up till this date, starting from 2021. So with Ethereum at the high point, you would have been, with the $5,700 investment, $20 a week, every single week, you would have been, today you would be at 10,700, in October 6th, the peak, you would be at 10,700. And then today, today you would be at 4,600, so much lower than Bitcoin's price today. As you can see, Ethereum, being a more volatile asset, turns out to take bigger corrections. But because we did not really have a strong altcoin season during the bull run, it was mainly a Bitcoin bull run, and Ethereum did not really perform the way it has in the past. Now let's look at Solana. Solana is, for most people, like the third top cryptocurrency. With Solana, $20 invested would have amassed, again, $5,700, right? $20 a week. You would have, today, your Solana price would be 11,074, so you would be above your Bitcoin price. However, during the peak, you would have $33,215 versus Bitcoin's 15,800. You would have a 567, so a 5.5x increase in price. So Solana, being more volatile, also gives you much bigger gains if it does well, if it performs. Next, XRP, really popular. Let's take a look at XRP's comparison. At the peak, XRP with that same investment, you would have 27,900, so it's about $28,000 with that same investment. And now, at this point, you would have 10,380. So close to Bitcoin's amount. Let's do just a couple more for fun. Dogecoin, the #1 meme coin in the world. So with Dogecoin, you would have 21,000 at the peak, and like a 4x increase, and you would have 5,000, so you would have lost money. You would have 5,295 versus, you investing 5,700, so you would have lost some money at this point. You should have sold basically at the peak if you wanted to hold, if you wanted to make profit. And we'll look at just one more for the fun. The coin that got me into crypto, which was Cardano. Yep. Fun fact, the first crypto that piqued my interest was Cardano, and then later on I started looking more into Bitcoin due to its sort of less volatile nature or safe nature. So with Cardano, a lot of people don't think it's a good investment. Cardano was a really good investment at a certain point. It's struggling now, but it was a really good investment. So at the peak, still really underperformed Bitcoin. At the peak, you would have made a 65% return, $8,218. And right now, it's pretty bad right now. At this point, you would have a minus 63% return. So you would have $2,000 with your 5,700 invested. You would definitely be down in the dumps. So yeah, this tool is a really, really awesome tool. It shows you what your portfolio would look like if you just straight dollar cost averaged. Every week, every month, you can choose your timeline and just compare different assets to each other, different crypto coins to each other. Yeah, his website has a lot of really incredible tools. If you actually subscribe, you get way more. It isn't cheap. It's like $50 a month for the plan. Let's see what the membership looks like. So his standard plan is like $50 a month right now. It's at a discount. And then the pro plan is at $109 a month. So yeah, above some of our pay grades, but the free version does give you a lot of good stuff. So why not, right? All right, stay smart, invest safe.